government needs to take all steps reasonable to facilitate the return of Mr. Abrego Garcia to the United States.
Tonight on DC News Now, demands for a roadmap for the return of a Maryland man wrongly deported to El Salvador. A judge slamming the Department of Justice for their lack of answers about his location.
The trade war between the U.S. and China continues to heat up.
We just can't plan accurately for what's going to happen.
It's leaving local businesses in limbo over the prices of products.
Hey everyone, still tracking the rain, but we do have a better weekend in store. Have your full weekend forecast. It's coming up.
3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 4, 8.
Putting the final touches on the National Cherry Blossom Parade. Dancers from near and far, ready to perform on Constitution Avenue.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us this Friday night for DC News Now at 10 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
Hi, everyone. I'm Susan Tran. A judge is cracking down on the Trump administration, saying the government needs to provide daily updates on how it's working to bring home a Maryland father who was mistakenly deported.
Yeah, it follows the Supreme Court's ruling for the administration to facilitate his return. DC News Now's Ben Dennis continues to follow this developing story for us.
And Ben, the Supreme Court now leaving the federal judge in Maryland to clarify these orders here, but it does feel like this back and forth, which means more delays for Kilmar's return.
That's right, guys. It's been nearly a month to the day since ICE agents here at the Department of Homeland Security detained Kilmar Abrego Garcia, sending him back to El Salvador, his home country, despite our 2019 court order saying that should not happen. Well, that federal district court judge now saying that, the federal government has to report in about their efforts to bring him back to the States, but also try to find him.
Supporters of 29-year-old Kilmar Abrego Garcia gathering outside Maryland federal court today, merely 12 hours after America's high court ordered the U.S. government bring the young father back to the States from a notorious El Salvadoran prison.
They need to do that as quickly as possible.
Attorney Simon Sandoval Motionberg.
The government attorney did say that they intend to comply with the order and bring him back. That's the bare minimum. They should have done that already. They've had plenty of time between the Supreme Court's order early yesterday evening and now. He should be here in the United States. It's a 5-hour flight.
Federal District Court Judge Paula Zinnes ordering the government to share Garcia's whereabouts and precisely what they've done and will do to bring him back. A government attorney saying they're actively considering what could be done and noted it would take several agencies working together. No telling what may happen once on American soil. Federal law enforcement contends Garcia is a gang member.
And there's no evidence in the record of any criminality, gang ties, any of that stuff. I mean, at this point, I have to assume that if they had any of that evidence, they would have filed it.
Meantime, it's concerns over the lack of due process afforded to Garcia before being mistakenly deported that continues to draw pushback, including from lawyers like Congressman Glenn Ivey, who represents where Garcia and his family live in Prince George's County.
I think this is the right way to go. Give him his day in court, and whatever that judge decides, that's the way it should go. But, let's do it the right way, or, so you don't have to do it over again.
And the judge again ordering daily updates into what the government is trying to do to bring Garcia back to the United States, including his whereabouts. That's something the U.S. government's own attorneys apparently did not even know today. The judge also saying a stern message, quote, "I guess my message for what it's worth, if you can do it tomorrow," in terms of bringing him back home. Outside of DHS headquarters, Ben Dennis, back to you.
All right, so many questions, Ben, thanks. Meanwhile, all new tonight, a verdict for a man who ran over a Montgomery County police officer while driving more than 100 miles per hour. He has been found guilty of assault, but the jury acquitted Rafael Mayorga of first and second degree attempted murder and first degree assault. The jury determined Mayorga did not intentionally hit Sergeant Patrick Kep as police tried stopping his vehicle. Mayorga, who was 19 at the time of the 2023 crash, hit Sergeant Kep and was putting out stop sticks to deflate Mayorga's tires. Sergeant Kep lost both legs in the crash. The state's attorney and MCPD, they're upset with the verdict.
The idea that he did not purposely do this to Officer Koepp is offensive to us.
What we're disheartened by, what we're angry about, is that in this state, a 19-year-old can turn a 4,200-pound vehicle into a guided missile.
Rafael Mayorga will be sentenced in August. He faces up to 28 years in prison.
And it was just earlier this year that the General Assembly there in Maryland passed the Sergeant Patrick Koepp Act. It adds stricter penalties, including jail time, for drivers going more than 30 miles over the speed limit.
All right, let's get a first check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb. When you saw Ben Dennis there, his umbrella, boy, just flapping in the wind.
Almost gone, right?
Almost gone.
Everybody kind of looked like they were ducking a lot of showers.
Yeah, there's a good band of rain about to make its way into D.C., so let's take a look at what's happening right now. At this point, Georgetown, pretty quiet across the region, but man, the spin of that storm system coming in from the south, it has been hovering in D.C. all day long, so pockets of moderate to torrential rain, they are brewing across the entire region. So Northern Virginia, now you are kind of in the clear, and look at this wave that is making its way into D.C. It is aggressive in nature here from 295 all the way into 495 southeast D.C., and this is the pocket of torrential rain that's providing the wind flow down towards Old Town Alexandria as well. Sections of Prince George's County about to get hit hard again all the way to Calvert as well, just because this moisture is going over the same spots for multiple hours here, and that's why we've picked up at least 3 inches of accumulation. Really almost up to 2 out for Stafford into the Woodbridge area. We do have a drier looking Saturday. More on that coming up.
Okay, we'll see you then, Janessa. A global trade war intensifies. The world's 2 largest economies amping up their retaliatory tariffs.
China is now slapping a 125% tax on all American imports, making U.S. products like pharmaceuticals, planes, and soybeans potentially just too expensive to sell to China. In response, though, Chinese leaders say to President Trump's putting 145% on tariffs on all imports from China.
So this will likely jack up prices for electronics, clothing, and toys. And those tariffs are having an impact on both our area's small business owners and shoppers. DC News Now's Max Marcilla shares that part of the story.
Clothes that reflect the interests of the wearer.
Eva St. Clair, half of DC-based Princess Awesome, says her company makes the fun stuff. Dresses with dinosaurs, rainbows, outer space, many of which are styled for kids, but that's where the fun has ended.
We just can't plan accurately for what's going to happen.
The tariffs and escalating trade war with China have left St. Clair and her business partner worrying how they'll pay themselves and their one other employee.
We don't know which factories we can work with and which ones we should probably try to make a new relationship with.
She says some of these items are tariffed differently based on material and country where it's produced. They're not raising prices, asking instead for tips on sales if a customer can afford to give.
With the uncertainty in the economy, we know people are cutting back to begin with.
But small businesses' efforts to not raise prices can only go so far. For instance, at this hardware store here in Manassas, some of these grills, the owner tells us, will cost $200 more each.
If something that cost $1 last week now costs $2, the price is going to have to go up in store just because there's not a lot of margin in hardware.
Sarah Pitkin owns this store and 3 others in Northern Virginia. She says shoppers may not see a huge difference for many items yet, but the uncertainty is making her job of deciding what to buy and how many difficult.
Knowing whether or not those specialty items, the larger items that we bring in, if we should be buying them now or waiting to see if this is just a lot of increase that's going to go away.
Pitkin says she's looking to find more American-made products since much of what's sold in hardware stores comes from China, but both Pitkin and St. Clair say small businesses are taking the brunt of this trade war.
We're not making 10,000 of the same item. We're making 400 or 500 in 10 sizes.
Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Now to a dramatic car crash in Maryland, leaving one car partially on top of another. Montgomery County firefighters saying that a driver in one car rear-ended the other, and as you can see right here, the front end is resting on the hood of the other car. This all happened in Silver Spring. Details are limited, and it's unclear right now if anyone was hurt.
In the district, we now know the name of a man killed in a stabbing last night. D.C. police say Michael Jackson was found unresponsive with stab wounds on V Street Southeast. He died at the hospital. Anyone with information about the stabbing is asked to contact D.C. police.
It was a surreal sight in the district yesterday when this large tree just came crashing down. It nearly crushed this musician who was walking down the street there in Northwest.
Boy, that is terrifying, right? DC News Now's Liberty Simmons spoke with the professional cellist who shared the harrowing moments.
Well, Carlos Figueroa, also known as Carlos Cello, said he was split seconds away from being smushed by a giant tree that was right here. Now, he said he was walking along this sidewalk here yesterday when he heard a loud sound.
I was like passing under it, like I was shaking. I just couldn't believe what I just witnessed.
Cellist Carlos Figueroa says he's lucky to be alive after this giant tree came tumbling toward him on Massachusetts Avenue Northwest Thursday morning. He jumped out of the way and luckily no one was hit or hurt.
I thank you, God, for, I don't know, it was like, it wasn't meant to be, you know, but I'm just like very thankful that nothing went like worse.
The tree lined outside 1,500 Mass apartments run by Equity Apartments. Residents say they've been worried the tree would come down for a while.
It actually been on the verge of coming down for a couple of months now. So I thought that they would send somebody out.
The District Department of Transportation says the tree was on private property and is the building's responsibility, but DDOT says its cleanup crews did respond to clear the fallen tree from the public's right-of-way.
It was dangerous because, you know, you have average people just walking, and it could have been a mother with her baby in the stroller or anything.
This comes after a fallen tree branch killed a woman in southeast D.C. back in July. And with more rain and wind expected, Carlos warns others of the danger.
Please be safe, watch for your surroundings, like be aware of what's going on around you. You never know what could happen.
And we also reached out to Equity Apartments, and they would only say that this incident is under investigation. For now, in Northwest D.C., Liberty Simmons, DC News Now.